Hi everyone, welcome to the session of our web series, Fireside Chat with Champions, in which we interview global business leaders asking them crowdsourced questions relevant to the biggest challenge we face today, COVID-19, and its impact on various aspects of business as well as society, and the way we can steer ourselves in current uncertainties. Today we have a special guest with us, Jack Sim. Jack is the founder of many initiatives, companies, social businesses, and platforms, most notable of them being the World Toilet Organization, the World Toilet Day Initiative, and the Bottom of Pyramid Hub. Jack's award list is infinite, trying to keep it to top few. Jack was awarded Her Majesty Queen Elisabeth Commonwealth Point of Light Award and Luxembourg Peace Prize for Activist in 2018. He was awarded Singapore President's Award for Volunteerism and Philanthropy in 2016. Reader's Digest magazine named him Asian of the Year in 2011, while Challenge News Asia named him Asian of the Year in 2009. Jake was appointed to the World Economic Forum's Global Agenda Council for Water Security and Social Entrepreneurship in 2008. He was named Hero of the Environment by Time magazine in 2008. Asian Development Bank named him Water Champion in 2008. He received Shaw Foundation's Social Entrepreneur of the Year award in 2007. Books have been written about Jack, as well as recently a movie, Mr. Toilet, the world's #2 man, was made on his challenges, struggles, and achievements. He has constructed a 65,000 square feet World Trade Center for Poor with the idea to coordinate an effort to transform the 4 billion poor into a massively efficient marketplace to end global poverty. Jack has inspired a generation of social entrepreneurs, which include me as well. He has been a friend, philosopher, mentor, and a guide to me. Thanks, Jack, for accepting our invitation. I would request you to let our viewers know a bit more about you and your current interest and activities. Floor is for you, Jack.
Hello, everybody. We are meeting in COVID-19 times. Very difficult time is coming ahead. Already we can see starvation in India, and a lot of people are going to lose their job. So COVID-19 is not only killing people, they're killing people through the loss of livelihood, jobs, food, and mental illness is going to be a very serious problem. Because people who are gainfully employed and having a job, after they lost their job, they start to question themselves. They start to ask, am I still a useful person? And when a person doesn't feel he's useful, there is a withdrawal effect, and depression is very serious. My advice is, when you lose money or you have a problem, stick to that one problem. Don't create a second problem called stress. Because if you are stressed by having lost money, you will have now two problems. And the second problem is created by you, whereas the first problem was created by the situation. So stick to one problem. Because if you have the second problem of stress, you may get angry with other people, you may spoil a relationship, you may even beat up someone, get drunk, and more problems. You will have 3 problems, 4 problems, 5 problems. So stay calm. Yes, it's very tough. Hang in there, and don't lose your mind even if you lose your job.
That's awesome starting point, Jack. I always love the energy and the thought process you bring, because in these difficult times, it's very important that actually, we come to the conclusion that human beings are more important than their jobs and their professions. I also remember one very, very important thing which you told me, Jack, if you can remember 3 years back when I first time met you. You said, Deepak, billionaires of future would be the people who are helping billion people, not those who make billion rupees. So I follow your advice on that. Jack, you know that social entrepreneurship has been always a very, very difficult and challenging task. You have been doing it for more than 20 years now. We would like to understand that in these current difficult times, how the COVID and the lockdown and the economic slowdown has impacted social entrepreneurship today.
Social entrepreneurship is to solve market failures and government failures. When the government is doing a very good job and the market is distributing wealth evenly, you don't need social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneur happen when problems remain unresolved. Now, commercial entrepreneur, they sell and trade on private goods. So they are buying something with some and then selling something, and the businesses is only half the story. It's private goods. I buy a computer, I'm using the computer. I pay the money, right? But there is a public good. After I finish using the computer, how do I dispose of it? Will it become rubbish? Will it become a toxic? Now, people don't think after that. I eat the food. I have the plastic box. I throw away the plastic box. Where does it go? I don't know. So the private good part is very easy to settle. The public good part is a government role typically, but most government is not perfect. They don't solve all the public good problems. And if the private sector doesn't want to solve it because they already took the profit and the government couldn't take the taxes to solve it or don't even notice it, then the social entrepreneur have to come up. So today problem, unemployment, mental health, disease spread, hygiene and sanitation as the front line for defense. Now all these problems, civil society has to rise and social entrepreneur can play a role in this. Let's just say joblessness. How are you going to find a job when the employer are retrenching people? They have not enough customers. They are making the economy is shrinking. So if you cannot be a job seeker, you have to be a job creator. You have to create your own job. Imagine that all the Uber driver in the world owns Uber and not this investor and the founder, not these startup people own it, but the drivers own it. Wouldn't it? They don't have to pay 30% to this Uber company. They don't have to pay people hundreds of millions of dollars of salary, right? They can own their own company. And this format is called cooperative. Today, we are learning how to create co-op platform that means digitized cooperative. So anybody can join and create jobs themselves. In India, there are many companies that are very hierarchical. If you flatten it, the distribution of wealth goes everywhere. Why must the lowest rank get the cheapest pay and do all the work? And the guy on the top is just only giving instruction and getting all the money. The way to revolutionize it is to create digital co-op platform that everybody can be a micro or nano entrepreneur while he's actually working. In fact, the customer who is buying your food can also be your shareholder, because the cooperative, the supplier, the worker, the financier, the consumer can all be in a cooperative. It is not communism, it is business. So if you want to push money to only a few people, you can continue the capitalism way, and then you will find that, oh, in Singapore, I am here. We have a national average of 8,000 US dollar salary per person per month. Sounds pretty good, but the actual is only 3,500 for most of the people. So it is like half or less than half of the national average. So how does this statistic happen? Because there's so many billionaires from India, from Russia, from China, they are all living here. Now all these billionaires is going to change the average. So the average is not the measurement. If we measure GDP, it looks very good. But the ordinary people are just having a normal pay. They're not rich. And then there are some who's having a job, but not enough to get by. So I think what we want to do is not to follow the mainstream, but to understand that society needs to own their country. People, workers needs to own their job, needs to own their company. And if we can democratize this kind of relationship, the distribution of wealth goes right to the working level. And then what will happen? When the working level have more money, they will buy more quality of life, like clean water, electricity, housing, nutrition, education for their children to school, maybe buy transportation, a motorcycle, a bicycle, or whatever. So these people, they generate multipliers. If you push down to the big numbers and they get money, they're going to put the money back to the economy to create more jobs. If they demand more education, there will be more jobs for teachers. If they demand more health, there will be more job for preventive health, like build toilets and sanitation and treatment, and also doctors. If they demand housing, there will be more construction workers. Now, what happens when rich people make the money? They put it in the bank. They use the money to lend to you and get more interest. They use the money to speculate foreign exchange and stocks, and everything doesn't produce anything. It's just a shuffling of paper which makes more and more money. It doesn't create real economic goods. So what we need? We need a high velocity of money at the common people. If $1 is multiplied 10 times, there is 10 person who use the money and there is 10 jobs created. If there is money kept by the rich people, there's no job created, there's only wealth created. And this is the problem of the world. American culture is nothing to be glamorous about. Don't follow those kind of individualism. Everything is focused on individual. Everything is focused on you. You are the most awesome. What's the point of appearing in Forbes magazine as a rich man? How many bowl of rice or steak or whatever food you can eat in one lunch? Your stomach capacity is limited. You eat more, you become sick, right? How many beds do you sleep? You sleep in 10 beds? No, only one. What do you need in life? You need some basic drinking water, electricity, Wi-Fi, bed, food, children go to school, more or less like that. More money is unnecessary except for one point. People glamorize you. And so you are very happy. If we stop glamorizing these people and we redefine that a billionaire is one that improves the life of a billion people and not having $1 billion, then the whole game changes. If people are looking at you because you are helping others, then everyone will want to also help others and get the recognition. If you are recognizing somebody who has money because you don't have, what's the point? There is no benefit of doing that. So stop looking at rich people as if they are great people. They can be great people, rich or poor, as long as they help other people.
That's a Awesome articulation of some of the facts on ground, Jack. Really appreciate always the insight you bring. Jack, or continuing the same, I said, related question, how do you see like the funding coming into social entrepreneurship in current scenario? Do you think that the funding, because of people starting to understand that helping other is more important, will increase? Or do you feel that because of the economic slowdown, there would be less funds available for doing social impact?
I think if you start to do social entrepreneurship, you start with the problem. You don't start with the funding. If you start thinking about the funding, you are starting in the wrong place. If you start with the problem, what is a problem? A problem is an opportunity. It is a demand for a solution. Now you look at the problem and you say, if there's a demand for the solution, what is the supply for the solution? Who will benefit when this solution is solved? Of course, the people, the poor themselves, the jobless, unemployed, will benefit from this solution. So if we were to think about the beneficiary, then you unlock the wealth of the people, not go and get some money and then these people will control you. Money come with a lot of restrictions. They will say, no, I only want to help adolescent girls. Now everybody I don't want to help. Or I only want to help children. Yeah? And I only want to help children who are female and only living in Darul Islam. And everybody I don't want. So these are people who give you restriction and restriction. And so what you want to do is look at the problem, look at the beneficiary, and the good thing is that some of the beneficiary, they are actually donor. Why? The donor, can you imagine, your job is to give people money in the most effective way. So you go to work every day, have a big problem. Who to give money to? My goodness, I have a headache. I don't know who to give money to. That is your job if you are working in the donor's office. Now, the answer is to give to the most effective solution and to invest in the most effective solution, scalable, and the impact is the highest with the least amount of money. That means if you are a social entrepreneur, you have to offer solution that is like that. Right now, at this moment, there is so many NGO in the world that is going bankrupt. There is also so many social entrepreneurs that is going bankrupt because the traditional way of doing social work has always been centered on the donor. And now the donor has also limited budget. You know why? First, their business is also suffering, so they are giving less. Secondly, when they give, they're giving it to COVID-19. So the money that they used to want to give you is now gone to COVID-19. So in this case, there is a disappearance of money. You do not continue to sit there and wait for something that is disappearing. You create. Where is money? Money is in the mind of the poor and in the hands and body of the poor. Once you unlock their spirit of enterprise, you unlock their good work ethics, they make money. I give you an example. I was born 1957 in Singapore. Our country is a very poor country at that time. When we became independent in 1965 from Malaysia and from the British, our country GDP was 500 US dollar per capita. And this is the same as Kenya. So Singapore and Kenya was the same. In 25 years, our country turned from a poor country to a first world country. Highly developed, everyone have their house, everyone is middle class or higher. How did we achieve that? Did we achieve that because somebody donate money for us? No. When the foreign country, Britain, America, Australia, everybody wants to donate money to us, our Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew said to them, we don't accept donation. We accept investment. Please come and set up your factory. You will get tax-free 5 years. You will not have to pay tax. All you have to do is to create jobs for our people, train them, give them skill, and I will welcome you. Please come to our place. And in order to persuade them, we plant flowers in our whole city so that when their wife comes, their wife tells the husband, hey, go to Singapore, there are so many flowers. So we have trees and flowers before the hippies in America start the green movement. We start garden city. So we attracted a lot of people, a lot of investment, and first we attract textile, we attract a low-cost industry like car manufacturing, assembling, very low cost. Then we tell them, okay, we have new industry. We don't want this industry. Please go to Malaysia, go to Indonesia, go to Vietnam. We don't want. Then we bring in pharmaceutical, silicon chips factory. We bring in higher and higher and higher factory that all the people's salary go up. And who is training these people? The companies who are coming here. So we have to create jobs by creating unlocking the people's good work ethic. Every human being is intelligent, but he is intelligent in different way. Not necessarily he is a scholar or he study very well. Even the farmer is very intelligent. He can tell you about a crop. He can tell you about insects. He can tell you about the weather. He can tell you about the soil biome without being a scientist studying the biomes. So this is the knowledge we want to deploy. If we share knowledge, because most people don't have very full knowledge, they have some knowledge. But if you share the knowledge with all the people, and then we will have full knowledge. If all of us knew what all of us knew, we solve every problem. So, platform, cooperative, ecosystem, knowledge sharing. We have to change the world where our common enemy is poverty, not each other. Our common enemy is not another religion, another race, white people versus yellow or brown or black people. Nothing. Our common enemy is poverty, diseases, yeah, and climate change. This is our three common enemy. And if we have a common enemy, human can unite and we can solve common enemy together. If we forgot that we have common enemy, we will look for each other to fight. For some reason, we always need an enemy, so might as well we go and solve poverty.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Like everybody needs an enemy, and that's what our history has been telling us. In India, also, like our politicians get together and the country get together when you start talking about Pakistan. So yes, as you rightly said, the poverty is a bigger enemy than anything else. Jack, as we were talking about the three challenges you highlighted, like one is poverty, the climate change, and third, which I've been reading, you have been talking a lot about, is the consumerism. I would like to understand a little bit from you about the perspective of that. Do you think the present way of the way we consume things is sustainable, or we need to have a drastic change in that?
We need to change totally, because when we were young, we were told to be frugal. We were told to save money for the future, for the family, for buying the house. Yeah. And we see rich people in Singapore, rich people, they are wearing a singlet, you know, they're wearing some shorts. They don't go and buy a jacket or anything like that. No, they don't show off. They try to hide their wealth. They keep quiet. Yeah. So the bosses, they were simple people. Then Hollywood came. And Hollywood say, if you are rich, it looks like this. You drive a Porsche, a Mercedes. And then this brainwash us. And the individualism culture came from America. How you should forget everybody, screw everyone, and you are the most important. I think this is a very bad influence. What we have to do is to say, we are part of a community. We take care of our village, our area that we can influence, our city, our state, our country, our planet. Depending on your mind space, how wide is your mind space, you go there and you embrace it. But you do not become chauvinistic that the other people are bad. So you are good and they are also good. And this is the way we have to go forward. Now, when we consume, it is because we are consuming for health, for survival, for essential things like food, water, education, electricity, housing, right? To be decent and to be comfortable. But if you consume to show off to other people, that is very unnecessary consumption. A lot of the consumption, like buying a diamond or jewelry, it's not for you to look. It's to go to parties and other people look. Some people even marry a wife that is having very big shaped body, yeah, big breasts. Why? To show their friend, their wife. Come on. A wife is for you to have a relationship. She is not a exhibit item. But some people get confused and they are thinking this way. So I think we have to come to terms. What is the main thing we are spending? I will tell you. The number one thing we are spending every day is time. You spend time and your life gets shorter and shorter and shorter and then you die. Okay? Every day is one day less in your journey towards the coffin. And you are sure to die. And therefore, the most real currency of life is time, not money. Now, if you are going to spend this minute, like now I'm talking to you, I'm giving you my time. I'm giving all the audience my time. Why am I doing that? In the hope that it is useful. If it is useful, I have deployed this currency in the right investment. That after this talk, you are thinking in a good way and your life perspective can change. If nothing changes, I have lost my time. I speak to you for 1 hour, my life gets 1 hour shorter. So every day I have to think which is the thing that I want to spend my time. If I sit in front of the television and I waste my time watching one Bollywood film, it could be 2 hours gone, but I get nothing. The world didn't change. So I'm not going to watch television, right? I'm not going to pay attention to Donald Trump's tweet because it doesn't help change the world. So I am only going to read things that can be useful, spend time on things that are good, and of course not to forget the family. The family is there for you to enjoy and to build a strong value system so that your children can grow up to be good human beings. If I am behaving selfish and I am trying to alienate people and show off, what am I creating? I'm creating a role model for my children to become very bad people. So human being, please don't destroy your next generation. The next generation can only be good human being if you yourself are good. If you behave badly, watch out. It will come back to you. If you teach your children to be selfish, when you are old, they're going to steal your money. They're going to neglect you. They're going to ask you, don't sit in my Mercedes because you are so old and so frail and so ugly. And then you will realize that you teach them wrongly.
That's as usual. Always, like, you articulate things so well, Jack. Like, you can keep on listening, but I know you are having constraints of time. So we would like to come to, like, our last section of this discussion, which is about advisory to the young startups and impact social entrepreneurs. If we have to give them 4 or 5 advice, just like what you did to me a few years back, what would be that 4 or 5 things you believe a social entrepreneur should be doing? One thing in these difficult time, and also going forward to make world a better place for all of us.
The first thing is, don't do it for fame. Do not become a social entrepreneur because you want to show off. Now, I went to Silicon Valley in 2016 to study in the Singularity University for 3 months. It was the first time I have been to America. And I was really shocked that the Americans in Silicon Valley, they have only one goal: to be awesome. And if your goal of life is to be awesome, that's really shallow. It's better to want to be a good human being. And if you can think how you can use your remaining days on this earth to do something really, really good with lasting legacy, it doesn't matter if people remember you, celebrate you, give you some award. It's not very important. The important thing is that you give yourself the reward. And it's a hard job. And if you do it for the donor, do it for the investor, do it for the VC, then you're already starting in the wrong point. You have to do it for a purpose that you strongly believe that it is important enough to devote your life for that, because you have only one life. You either use it this way or that way, but do not use it for fame, fortune, power, vanity. All these things are effervescent. It just disappears. It's not important. Whether people praise you or not is also not important. Sometimes to do good, you actually are upsetting some bureaucrats. But go ahead, do it anyway. Because if it have to be done, go and do it. Speak the truth, be honest. Don't be a panic person. Know that you will always have food and you will always have a place to sleep. And that is the minimum, and all the rest are luxury. And therefore, when you are frugal, when you are thinking this way, you have no fear. If you are fearless, you can conquer very, very difficult job. You will not lose heart. You will not self-doubt. You will not lose energy. When you are working together with other people, you have to have a lot of humility. You have to listen their ideas. Maybe yours is not so good. Maybe yours is half good. And then you absorb everybody and you thank everybody and you make use of everybody's resources and you give them your resources. Think like a team. Think like a forest. You are one animal in the forest and other animals are all there and you are living together in harmony. But if you were to think that you are alone, actually, even you cannot survive. because the forest needs everyone to transact, not with money, but with oxygen, with the shit fertilizing the crop to grow other crop for other people to eat. Yeah. So I think that be humble. Know that you are one player in the ecosystem. Build a team of real people. There are a lot of people who want to sit on your board, but they want to sit on their board, but they don't want to appear. They put their name, they don't come. Now those type of people, please ask them to go away. Yeah, they may be, you know, some important people, but if they don't come, if they don't do anything, then you have to ask them. Maybe you should introduce somebody. Maybe you should put some money. Maybe you should volunteer even your cloud or whatever. But if nothing, don't. So choose your partner. Do not just get to bed with anyone you can grab. The moment they come, sometimes they're very enthusiastic. Ask them to test and find out if this is suitable for them.
No, that's awesome advice, Jack. Like, you know, I'm very sure I've learned a lot from you, and the audience would also learn a lot from you. As we are having another 8 to 10 minutes remaining, Jack, you would like to know a little bit more about the concept of BOP Hub, because we have been listening to a lot of exciting things about it. So I've also seen the website, how you want to accelerate, how you want to create the ideas, make it come together and make a marketplace for 4 billion people, which have been ignored so far. Can you please explain a little bit about your thoughts and your ideas about BOP Hub?
So I started thinking, if Singapore can turn from third world to first world in 25 years before digitization, the world can turn from third world to first world in 10 years, right? And what is the ingredient that will accelerate this? So all the social entrepreneurs in the world have already found solution. Whether it is drinking water, water filter, water kiosk, big sewage treatment plant, they are all available. Technology available, business model available. Okay, whether it's housing or healthcare or education or nutrition, fintech, agri-tech, logistic, every solution is found. Now, why are these solutions not aggregated together into an ecosystem? Because the funder is giving people money according to who is my champion. He's dividing people, making people compete. We have social entrepreneur contest. I was just invited to be judge of a contest. I told them, please don't contest. Make a collaboration. So instead of pitching their solution, they should pitch the problem. And then the pitch the problem, I want to coordinate everybody to solve this problem. Suddenly, the judges also become the stakeholder, become the mentor, become the provider of the solution. And then in this case, we can solve the problem. So BOP Hub is an idea that an ecosystem will be much more efficient than silos. So if you have 1,000 silos, you have 1,000. If you put these 1,000 silos together, then you become synergies. You cut wastages, duplication, bureaucracy. You don't need so many overheads, accounting department, all same. But you don't need to form them into one company. You just need to form them into shared services and service everybody. Imagine if 1,000 social entrepreneur with 1,000 unique solutions share with each other. You will have 1,000 distributing for 1,000. Suddenly, you have 1 million distribution channel. You have 999,000 extra efficiency coming from the thin air, just because these 1,000 people are now trusted and coordinated with each other. Of course, the trick is we need to use AI to be able to search match, and motivate them. Then we need to build trust relationship with them. So this is the process. So I alone can't finish this job. So I went to talk to World Economic Forum Shop Foundation, and then I talked to Giroux Villamoria and other people, the CEO of Shop Foundation. And then suddenly they say, good idea. They also thought of the same idea. So we now created a very, very big group where I'm one of the stakeholders and the others are all champion and heroes, called Catalyst 2030. So we are now have all the players, have all the solutions. Our project now is how to coordinate it and to grow it. Now, we need face-to-face places. And also I built a World Trade Center for the Poor. We call it the SDG Center in Singapore. It's 65,000 square feet. It's now new. We are filling it up. And we hope that many, many places will build such SDG Center. It's not belong to me. You can apply to get a name for the building, and then you can operate it. And then everybody in SDG interested stakeholder will congregate, and then we will share solution with the virtual people that are out there. And we have all the relationships. I will tell you one thing. The NGOs and the social entrepreneurs thought that they have a business model or technology. That one they can share. But their most important asset is their trust relationship with the local community. That takes years to build. So if you already have trusted relationship, you are actually a distributor. You have the potential to deliver all the products and services that is available in the world and to deliver it to the same community. So let's say you are just helping them on agriculture, but because the people trust you, now you can also distribute them solar energy. You can distribute to them Wi-Fi. You can distribute to them many things. Even Wi-Fi, you can buy TV white space and steal the middle bandwidth between two high definition TV channels free of charge. So there are so many things you can distribute to them. Now you are going to say, yes, I like to, but I don't know so many things. Now if we create this software, you can just simply access and you can ask the local people to read these things and use them, and you just create local teams to curate. People can get themselves out of poverty without waiting for the government. If you wait for the government, you might become very hungry and die. If you wait for donor, you also may die. But you take care of yourself, access information. If the poor have access to information, customers, technology, financing, logistics, they get out of poverty. So this is the job of the BOP Hub and the job of Catalyst 2030.
No, that's just awesome, Jack. Actually, like, you know, I believe and I strongly pray that actually, like, you know, whatever success you got, right, the type of success you got for your passionate work on toilet, that gets also similarly infused and catalyzed for the BOP Hub as well, because the world needs solution which you are trying to put across to everyone. All the best for that. And thanks a lot for sharing your views and time with our audience. It was a pleasure talking to you as usual. And as I've learned a lot from you, I believe all the audience will also learn a lot from you and make world a better place. Thanks a lot, Jack, for participating in this session.
Thank you.